treatment facility. And when we were talking earlier about the pollutants, this facility treats that. So the media or the material that's in this vault is essentially, it's kind of like a sponge slash like kitty litter. It takes in the pollutants and it holds it in the treatment facility, and then when the water comes out, it actually pops out at the other end and it flows behind you into that field. Now that field there behind you was a 60-foot hole. We filled it up all the way to the top. It took 85,000 tons of material to fill that hole. And what we do is just put large rock so that the water can flow through the rock and down to the native soil. And that native soil draws the water into the ground and back into the groundwater table that serves the Cedar River. So the river we were just looking at, that water that flowing there comes from here. So it comes here, it gets treated, and then this is one of those regional facilities that's not as common, and it will send out more clean water. And this also serves to recharge aquifers, which can be your drinking water and everything like that. So this is step 2 of kind of the stormwater process. First step is it drains to this location, we collect it, we treat it here, and then send it over there to kind of do as much of natural processes as we can and let it infiltrate back into the ground. But like we were talking about, normally we'll have lids on top of this, but for this we decided to go with a fence for economic reasons, because putting a grate of that size is very costly. So for us at this time it was more cost effective to leave it open so that we could see it. And so we get grants and things like that and make sure that we get enough funding for our communities through the Department of Ecology. And then we have to do restoration work. And if you see on the side, you'll see all these plantings and trees that go into it. Those aren't serving for the stormwater, but we have to bring back and put vegetation into the area when we're working with these different departments. And so we've also seeded the field there. So hopefully in the future, it's going to be a play field. So that infiltration gallery or facility on that side is doing all the stormwater work underneath the ground that no one will notice, and you'll have families and kids playing on top of the surfaces. So it's one of those things that folks probably don't even realize is that most of your schools that you're at, they have infiltration or stormwater detention galleries and other facilities at them that you probably don't even realize that are underground that are required for us to put into place to make sure that our stormwater is treated and clean.
Jared,
Question?
okay. Do you want to talk about how big this thing is compared to like the stream of water we see going through there now?
Yeah, so right now it's obviously raining right now, right? So, but this is just a sprinkle. This is like the lowest level rain that this will serve. So this facility is 224 feet long. It's 22 feet wide, and the media that goes down is about it's about 4 feet deep from the top of the water flowing in. It's 4 feet down with media that goes down to the bottom and has a drain under there. So it very sorry, the media itself is essentially that kitty litter that treats the water. So when I say media, it's a specialty compound that is developed. It's like a proprietary or specialized mixture of. I mean, it's perlite
Compost.
and zeolite. It's kind of compost. Yeah, and different material.
Old mattresses? No, okay.
No, yeah. So the water coming here serves that entire region, and as it gets higher and higher flows, you'll see these windows right now that are down in there. They're actually not active. You'll see the water is actually just slightly below the lips of those windows, so the water can go all the way down to the end. So as the water levels get higher and higher, this thing will get more and more water, and it'll come all the way to those windows, so everything is flowing through the windows, and then it flows down through the side and out. So right now you can see that the water is dispersing on that far end, which is just the last little row where it kind of trickles out. And then in higher flows, so we call them like the 20-year or 50-year storm. So I think our last 50 year, was that 2020, Joe, that we had here? So that was the flooding back in 2020. So this thing is designed to handle the 100 years. So that's a storm once every 100 years.
Okay, but let's reiterate that 100 years is an engineering estimate. We know that with climate change, we are getting more frequent, heavier rainfalls. And so this is designed to take that atmospheric river that you often hear about in the news when we get one of those El Niños, which we're about to have.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah.
So this is designing for the future.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the water, I mean, this native processes are amazing. The native soil's down below, 60 feet below. We're up actually on fill material that's here. The native material that we were able to get down to there draws the water in at 60 inches per hour. So when you hear of a storm coming in, that you get a 1-inch storm, that takes 60 inches an hour. And so it's amazing how much water can go through this facility. Yeah, any questions about this? This is our regional facility, and then we'll go to a localized facility here in a little bit. But any questions about the regional facility?
Yeah, how many facilities the county ever built?
Say that again?
How many facilities like this exist in the
So this is actually the state's largest facility of this kind. So this is a newer facility. We got a grant with the Department of Ecology. So this is one of those newer things. I don't know if we have a regional facility of this size in the area, Joe.
This is the only regional facility of this size in Renton. I don't know about the county. We'll have to ask county staff.
Yeah, Tacoma has a refill when it comes off Pearl Street, but it's a different kind of facility.
So
and who owns the land?
that's a great question. So this is actually.
Repeat the question.
The question was who owns this land that's here? So that's a great question. The big thing in urban areas is we don't have the space. We were very fortunate and lucky to be able to work out with a private owner we get an easement or get a section of the property that we can do work on. And so since most of the work is underground, we're able to come to an agreement with that private property. So we have an easement over this land, but it is private. And yeah, but this is very unique. You don't normally get a site of this size that you can do work upon. So we as engineers, we look for those things in our communities.
We paid approximately $5 million to have the land rights to do this project to the property owner of the site. So the site is privately owned, but we bought the rights to put our facility on it.
And for how long are you going to keep?
And forever. We have the rights forever. This is designed to function in perpetuity. It has so many design levels of factors of safety, if you may, to make it function hopefully well, you know, past the time any of us will exist. So.
And that is another future talk at some point is like, how does government work with landowners on their different, we have a whole bunch of different ways that we can do that usually benefit the landowner through either easements or we purchase the properties. So if you hear stories, excuse me, about the government just taking the land, we like don't do that. We don't do that in King County. Yeah.
We buy it.
Yeah, we buy it. We pay a lot of money. We got grants.
Fair and square.
Yeah.
Mary, is there a plan to build more plants like this in the county, or how many?
Well, that's part of. That's a part of a really big picture with a really big price tag.
Big
And
picture and
you
big
know,
price
all the
tag.
cities and counties in the state are all trying to figure out what are the most important places to put these. You know, where is the need the greatest? Both communities that haven't been served that really need to have these types of facilities there, or places where flooding is consistent and constant and always an issue, places where water quality really does matter. And so Blair at the end will give some examples of some of the ways that we do that, but overall in King County and the Puget Sound area, all of us are trying to figure out how are we gonna get these done? You know, how are we gonna build these and pay for these? Yeah. But a big piece of that is hearing from communities and working with communities, because there's a lot of benefits that communities can get from these. And again, Blair will kind of touch on some of those later. Yeah.
This can be a playground later, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a grass play field. So like my
Can
son.
we build houses over here?
So each area is going to be zoned, but actually our maintenance shop is on the other side of this facility. But
I think, are you asking, will there be homes built on this site? The answer is yes. This is meant to be, for now, a multi-family development. And that multifamily development will send its stormwater to our system as well. So this playfield will be a playfield for the future multifamily development.
And our next stop will give you an idea of what that could look like. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks.
All right, the next one. Watch out for the wet concrete.
Don't step in the concrete. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
You can just leave a foot mark.
It was a small one.
Una? Let me hold it. Okay, yeah. This is like the water they were talking about. How do you call that water, Una? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, that's where they have the, they're trying to get the water treat into coming from waterfalls and clean it as it goes into pass it on, it goes into the river. And this is the first big one. In the city of Brampton. And they're thinking about like have all this green grass over here, like a sports field.